What's up, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars. Today we are bringing it back to our Terminator preparation marathon with Terminator Salvation, a film that I feel like a majority of the world has just overlooked as a whole, and it's mostly tossed aside in favor of the films that actually feature time travel, otherwise known as any of the others. And I get it, there's a valid concern there, but there's also a massive problem with that. Terminator Salvation is good. Yeah, I'm about to make you want to quaff, so without further ado, let's get crackin'. This review is brought to you by the word of the day, quaff, to drink a beverage, especially an alcoholic one. Terminator Salvation takes place in the future foretold by Sarah Connor back in the 80s and again in the 90s, where Judgment Day has already transpired and machines are in control. John Connor is leading the resistance to stop the Terminators once and for all, and amid his path, he also must find and protect his father, now a teenager in the war. Meanwhile, a man wanders into the streets unaware of how he got there, his motives unclear. You know the most ridiculous thing about this film? It takes place in 2018. I'm not even kidding. The machine-ridden world of the Terminators killing mankind took place 2 years ago. Wouldn't you know it? In all seriousness, I like this movie quite a bit, but I understand where people have frustrations with it. For one, just like the first Terminator movie, it doesn't have the soul of a Terminator movie. Where this was mostly all action, T2 and T3 both had a fair amount of humor and chemistry, which in the end of the day created kind of a soul for the film that's kind of unforgettable. You see it and you know that's a Terminator movie. That and Arnold Schwarzenegger's presence. That and the element of time travel. The things that made Terminator work so well weren't really seen in Terminator Salvation, so I would 100% understand someone when they say it doesn't feel like Terminator. No, it doesn't. But that doesn't immediately mean it's bad. On its own, Terminator Salvation is a solid action film with a fair amount of twists and turns that the audience may be pleasantly surprised with. Plus, as blaspheming as it is for me to say, this film also showcased the best acting in the series thus far. Now, that's mostly because the Terminator series isn't known for the acting, so it's never really been that important. But Christian Bale kind of killed it in this movie. He really did. Sam Worthington too, guys. I might even prefer Worthington in this movie over Avatar. We must not forget about good old Anton Yelchin. May he rest in peace. While I never really believed he was Kyle Reese, he still did a remarkably great job in this role. Beyond that, the technical side of the film had great visuals, cinematography, and editing, not just with high action sequences, but when stitching together multiple weaving storylines seamlessly. I really like the pacing in this movie. I mean, think about it. You got John Connor needing to take down Skynet. The rest of the world is trying to decide if he's a false prophet or not. You got Sam Worthington's character who's traversing the terrain, first with Kyle Reese, then with Moon Bloodgood's character, and it's bouncing back and forth with all these storylines, but it's doing it in such a smooth fashion that you probably won't notice it that much, which is great editing. The narrative itself is pretty strong. A quick breakdown would tell you that John Connor is the protagonist. Worthington is the main character. The influence character is also John Connor because Connor and Worthington challenge each other. The antagonist is obviously the Terminators. There is a clear and solid story goal that Connor is pursuing and plenty of obstacles along his path. There's little to no complaints about how this film is put together from a narrative or technical perspective. But so many people are going to be watching this as part of a series, as a sequel in which it feels more like a spin-off at best. At its worst, it should have just been a random action movie unattached to the Terminator name, especially because it is void of that same soul that we love. As I mentioned before, I do get it, and that did play into my end score a bit because I'm with you, but I'm also going to give it credit where credit is due, and I'm rating Terminator Salvation 87%. 87 out of 100 possible stars, granting it the letter grade of B+. If you're curious on where this ranks in my rewatch, I'd have to say pretty high. So far, I'm pretty sure that's second best. Hate me all you want, but as a movie on its own, it's absolutely solid. Anyways, I would like to hear what you guys have to say about Terminator Salvation. Is this fourth Terminator film really a Terminator movie to you, or is it a ploy to grab money? Tell me below. As for YouTube, you know what to do. Hit subscribe if you like this review and would like to see some more reviews like it. Hit the thumbs up button because that always helps out my channel. And don't forget about the little bell icon because that helps notify you when I come out with my next review. And until then, peace out!